the mentality of a front runner. What does it mean to fail fast and how to overcome that? So my first question to you, failing fast, and then the struggle to overcome it, and then lessons learned. We're getting really deep really quick, my friend. But talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, thank you and hello. I think it's not going to be possible to answer as quick as you asked the question, but I think everybody is different. I think you need to know why you're doing what you're doing or what you want to achieve, and sort of imagine, I think you need to have an image of whatever it is that you want to achieve, how you want to feel at the end of it. So depending on what your target is, you might achieve it within a day, you might achieve it within a year, or it might take your entire life. So it's hard to be more precise. But I think in the end, it's the mentality or just your approach that really matters, and how you're able to adapt. Because I think humans, we are great in adapting, and even if adapting and learning and overcoming complications, failures, shortcomings, in order to achieve what we really want to achieve. And in the end, you will then know that it's about the journey and not so much about the results. But it will only, I think it will make you stronger achieving your goals, or trying to do the best you can to achieve your goals. So again, not so easy to answer.
No, Seb, that was fantastic. I have one of your quotes that's one of my favorites. Is you can't always be the best, but you can do your best. And I think you nailed that and encapsulated that perfectly. One of the things you talked about, adaptability, the perception of being adaptable throughout your career. How has that changed as your experience has grown?
Well, I think I have grown. I think as much as I've grown older and more experienced and more mature, I think I've grown in the sense of, understanding things and overcoming, these failures or shortcomings quicker than I used to. So I think, it's important that things, if they don't go your way, that they do bug you and they do upset you. But I think it is important to also learn that, these emotions, the highs and the lows, are part of the journey. And you're not losing your target out of it. It's not becoming unclear or getting out of sight. So I think as you go older, I think I don't want to say you also, there is a risk of overcomplicating things, but surely you learn and you understand more things. Things are how they're interconnected. And sometimes it makes things more complicated. It's then to try and, simplify them again and not get lost in the complication. But also it's a very useful lesson to understand how things are connected, and, how you can use them to your advantage, these connections. So, it is in the end, it is a journey.
As we're here celebrating Programmers Week, you just said, don't get lost in the complication. And I don't think there's a better quotable that we could have come out for the first several minutes of this. So well done. One of the items that Cognizant and, many folks are looking for right now is engineering modern business. And we talk about something called intuition engineered as we go out to clients and we try to build sustainability packages for them. And we try to do good, as good humans throughout our clients and for our customers. What part of intuition, and I want to dig in a little bit to intuition, what part of intuition would you say is in your checklist of top 10, top 5, mentalities to have and little pieces of talent to have throughout your career? How does intuition play a role?
Massive. I think it plays a huge role. So talking about, what happens inside the car, which is basically my job. So talking, I guess, to everybody to, what happens behind the desk, behind the screen, whatever the job is, whatever the task is. I think you probably know what to do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in the position. I think it's about organizing or having everything else in check, so to say, that you are in the best possible state of delivering. So not about the quantity so much, but the quality. So obviously for me, if I look at qualifying, for example, which is just about to set the fastest time, it is literally only one lap or a couple of laps in the session that really matter. Everything else doesn't matter so much. But to put yourself in the best possible shape to then extract the maximum out of yourself in the car. You have to rely to a large extent on your intuition, on your instinct, and just sort of get in that flow and let it happen. If surely it's important to keep things in mind and understand that I need to do this and I need to remember that. But I think that the more free or the more availability, or how can I say, the more space you have in your head, the more headspace you have, the more likely I am to hit these apexes and to do well and to get a fast lap. If you're busy thinking about other things because, I don't know, there's trouble in your private life, or you didn't sleep well, you didn't prepare well, you don't eat well, you don't, all these things, then they do contribute. Sometimes you can measure, sometimes it's difficult to measure, but they do contribute to a lack of instincts or intuition taking over. And I think to be really, one with the car, one with the elements, and one with the task, you need to be free and have that space, and just let things happen. I think, your ultimate, I don't know if there is a creativity measure, then I guess the ultimate performance comes through when you are getting in that state of mind. So it plays a huge role, but I think it's a very conscious, as much as that is a subconscious task, it is a very conscious task. I guess there's also the element which, in sports in particular, you mustn't underestimate, is just to be like you're very ambitious and you just want to be better than the others. You hate losing. So that's a massive, massive drive as well. But again, how sustainable is that? Because at some point, maybe you won everything and maybe you achieved everything, and then what? So then you start to ask these, other types of questions. But that's where it's easy to overcomplicate when you get a little bit older and more experienced. But then it's the key to, break it back down to and simplify to really know what you want. But sorry, I let you carry on.
No, so the then what? Let's talk about that, because I don't think you can turn that part of your brain off, right? I think you're always going to be a front runner. The way that you've dove into things like climate change from a very academic sense and sustainability to try to learn more and more about it, that's a part of your brain that naturally comes out as a front runner. Let's talk about now that you're transitioning. To say retirement seems to age you more. Let's call it the mic drop. You're doing the mic drop at the end of the season. What type of mentality as a front runner are you going to bring out for some of those passion projects that you have, like sustainability?
Well, the fair answer is it needs to be seen. I need to obviously prove myself now. You could say I'm in a seat where, I know what to do, and it's very easy to sort of hang on to it. But I chose a different way, and it will be a new journey and a new task. I don't expect to be, the best in whatever I pick up tomorrow, and it's going to be a real test to myself. But I'm happy to take that challenge because I'm always looking forward to the next thing. So even though not knowing exactly what these next things are, I'm very much looking forward to them. And I think there will always be the approach of trying to perfect or trying to optimize, trying to prepare as much as I can, trying to understand as much as I can. But I think it needs a very humble approach because there's so many things, so many fields where I haven't got a clue, and I need to listen and learn. But I guess channeled in the right way, it will be more of a help rather than something that's in the way.
What kind of advice do you give, the generations coming up that, either want to get into racing or just want to find their passion? What kind of advice would you give?
Give the children the room and the space to, keep on doing what they love. I mean, it's really, I think we need to, the kids are our future in many, many ways. So we need to look out for them, and that means giving them as much space as they need. And, we're all different. All kids are different. But I think that's a great way to look at it. If they can, if they have the freedom to be obsessed with whatever is in front of them, they will pick up something that they will probably hold on to the rest of their lives. So we need to make them a space.
I absolutely love that. Except my 8-year-old will make the space with 2 firecrackers running through the house, but I get what you're saying. So give them enough space in that safe capacity. I appreciate the parenting advice 101, my friend. All right. All the sports pundits wrote into us and said, hey, listen, you have to ask this one final question. So here's your last question. We've recently heard some folks, Michael Schumacher getting into karting, getting back into the track. How much of a possibility is it going to be that you're able to stay off the track or racing in some capacity? I just saw that as a bicycle champion, you passed Alfonso. Maybe it's the Tour de France. I don't know what's next for you, but are you going to be able to stay off a track and stay off of racing?
I don't know. Again, that's the answer. So I'm jumping into a new life in a way. I think I'm, rationally pretty far advanced in terms of, okay, the adrenaline kick that I get today won't be there. But how soon and how much I'll miss it, I don't know. Then I think there's always a chance to climb back into something which is, doesn't have to be Formula One, but could be something else, different project or go-karting, whatever, just to have fun. But really, I look at it in terms of finding that challenge elsewhere. And I think it's still important that you do something that scares you. You challenge your limits, both mentally and physically. So, but I can't answer it now. It's nothing. I think it would be weird if I would say that. I take on a different seat tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to this transition time and see how long it takes, and giving space to all these interests that I have and see what comes from it.
Well, Seb, I know the community of supporters that follow you look at you more than just a driver, a great mentor, a great thinker, and somebody who is obsessed with the next best thing. And I can't wait to follow your exploits. I really thank you for your time. This has made my day, my friend.
You're welcome. Thank you.